If I was in Saudi Arabia or Iran and I was street preaching Jesus Christ, what would happen?
Well, actually,
I'll tell you what, man, I'd be put in prison. Based on Sharia law, if I'm not a dhimmi, I don't pay the jizya. Bye-bye. How you doing?
David?
David, yeah. Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you.
Hamza?
Yeah.
Were you the Muslim guy that I said? Yeah, so guys, Islam's not going to do it. Allah's not going to do it. Muhammad's not going to do it. Buddha, we can debate, man. I debate Muslims for breakfast, man. Okay, so, like, we can chat.
Of course, I appreciate what you're doing. Right, you're Christian, right?
Yeah.
I'm Muslim.
Yeah.
So like, I respect what you're doing. I'll be the same in my religion, which is respectable, right? Like, you're religious, I'm religious too.
Yeah.
I respect the word of truth. Understandable. The one thing I didn't agree on, which kind of like I felt disrespected.
Yeah.
Was when he said like,
I eat Muslims for breakfast. I apologize for that, but that was my ego, by the way.
That's fine.
No, but I want to formally apologize because that was my flesh.
Forget about Allah. Muhammad's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
That's where like I felt
there's contention.
Like, a little bit. I'm just saying because like respect is a big thing, right? As like you're Christian, as a Muslim.
Yeah.
We understand that we're all equal. We want to respect each other.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah.
But the only issue, bro. Well, I'll just hold it. Yeah, just for both of us.
Respect.
The only issue. Yeah. I agree.
But I also disagree on the way you said like, oh, if you're Christian, if you're not Christian, Hinduism, Sikh, Muslim, whatever, any other culture,
so I just want to ask you a
leave the country, right?
Okay, so 2 points I'll bring up.
I understand, yeah.
And then I'll answer all of them. So the first thing, bro, Christian and Islam, although like there's mutual respect,
and they're similar too, no?
But yes, but there cannot be two truths.
Of
because
not.
If you're a Muslim and you believe that Jesus is God, what is that? Sure, you go to hell immediately. If I don't believe Jesus is God, what do? I go to hell.
Right,
so when I say that there's only one way, it's not Allah, Buddha, Muhammad. From my perspective, that is factual. That's not to be offensive. That's not to be offensive. But vice versa, from your perspective too, you would say the same thing, right? To answer the next question, though, as far as like the moving in, moving out, that was a bit of a bold take. Christianity built the West. If you guys truly are, Muslim, atheist, etc., again, we love you, but go move to those countries. Go move to North Korea. Go move to China. Go move to the Middle East. I do find it a little hypocritical, man. Don't you think that like the majority of people immigrate? Like, why do you think all these people are immigrating from the Middle East, from India, from? Really, why are they all immigrating
I understand
here?
India, but there's way too many, like, you know what I mean, in Brampton and all that, and people are complaining about massive immigration.
Yeah, but why here, though?
Well, I can't tell you. Maybe
I can tell you because I'm an immigrant. I moved here.
David. And let me just have a chat. You can show yourself a little bit, not really. I'm to Jesus. I'm nothing, bro. I'm dirt. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say.
Were you Hindu growing up?
No. I'm Muslim. We're both Muslim.
So where did you used to live? Your family?
I was born in Pakistan.
Yeah.
But I was raised in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. So my question then is if you're a Muslim and that's where it originated, why don't you go back there?
Because it's not just about religion. It's about kind of like betterment of life. That's kind of.
But where does that come back to? Where does betterment of life come to? Where does that stem back to?
I don't understand it.
Religion.
Yeah. I mean,
because the origin of religion is Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
right? That's where I agree. Where's the origin of your religion?
It was actually back in the Middle East, but then it disseminated everywhere throughout the world. But it predominantly took root in the West, where Islam still stays predominantly in the Middle East. Like if I go to the Middle East, I think the percentage is 98%. Where in the West, the numbers are decreasing now, but the majority, even 30 years ago, was about 80% Christian, right? So when I made that claim, I know I wasn't meant to be offensive, but we got to think why are Muslims coming to Christian countries and Christians aren't moving to Muslim countries? And I can tell you why, because I know the Quran at the back of my hand, but we don't have to go down that path.
Coming as in like immigrating or like this, the message is like this, it's being spread verbally. You know what I mean, because back in like I guess it was 1400, the Prophet's time, all this stuff with the origin of our religion, right? That is verbally transmitted, right? You're seeing about mass immigration. Immigration is something else. Like let's say Indians come here for a better life in Canada.
But why is the better life though? Where is that coming back?
Quality of life is a big thing back in those countries.
But where is the quality of life coming? Could it be that in Sharia law, if I'm caught with alcohol in my car, I get whipped publicly in public, and you don't want to do that? Have you guys drinking anything at all today?
No.
You haven't? Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. But I'll tell you guys, the majority of people from India, China, anywhere come here because we have freedoms built on the Bible, the Ten Commandments.
It's a multicultural city, a multicultural country.
But that came from the Bible, is what I'm saying. The Ten Commandments. That's what our law system is heavily dictated on. It's not dictated on Sharia law, because if it was, everybody here would be flogged in public.
Like in my country, let's say a woman, for example, they can't be showing their skin significantly. And if you do show your skin, you're gonna face jail time, this and that. That's a mixture of religion and actual laws, right?
Laws come from religion.
Exactly. But in my country, it's in my origin, Saudi Arabia, it's a law from religion.
Exactly.
Right?
We're agreeing. Then we're agreeing on. So that's why I'm saying they move here because they don't want that religion.
I don't think that's the basis of it, but that could be a factor. Absolutely.
What do you think the other factor would be?
I can tell you, man. Like it's not. It's also like your parents. They could be a betterment for their career. They can excel in their careers. They can.
Kids,
Education. I can tell you.
I agree.
Let's go back to India. I'm not Indian, but let's go back to India. Yeah. Do you think their GDP is high? Do you think their economic status is high? Do you think like it's an overall country to move to? Do you think education is good? Do you think healthcare is good? The GDP, all that stuff.
I would never move to India. Never.
Exactly. I agree on that too. You know why? I agree on that just because the economics parts aren't high. It's not an attraction for me. Here in Canada, it is. That's why people come here.
And what I'm saying though, bro, is the reason we're able to make money so freely, a big part of that is due to our freedoms, which come from the Christian value system. Like if I was in Iran, let's say, let me put it this way, okay? And we got to be honest. If I was in Saudi Arabia or Iran and I was street preaching Jesus Christ, what would happen to me?
Well, actually,
I'll tell you what, man, I'd be put in prison. Based on Sharia law, if I'm not a dhimmi, I don't pay the jizya. Bye-bye. I know this, guys. Like, you guys, how long have you lived here in Canada? 10 years? Your whole life?
I was born in Laval and then came.
So you guys are here, you're viewing, and I say this with love, you're viewing Islam from a westernized perspective.
I'm viewing it from both perspectives. I've lived in the Middle East.
Where was it?
Saudi Arabia.
You've lived in Saudi Arabia for how long?
I was there for 8 years.
For 8 years. So so how many Christians go street preach?
Not many.
Not many. Why?
I don't know. There's
not good things, bro. Where if you preached here in Canada,
I was really young.
No, that's
So,
okay.
you know?
It's okay. I care about you guys, but I'm just saying, like, when we dig it back deep, where if you were to preach here, you'd have freedom.
We're here for the respect of between our religion and my religion. I respect your religion. My religion tells me that. And I'm sure your religion tells you to respect others, right? So moving backwards, you said about regards to like, we're born in Canada. I was born in Canada my whole life.
Yeah.
The way I see my religion here is the same way I see it back at home, right? Which is the origin of our Saudi Arabia. But the thing is, the sins here in Canada are so normalized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so, you know it too. It's so normalized. So
it's just what I'm against. That's the Antichrist.
I agree with that. Anti-Islamic too. It's just it. My religion. So let's just say you can't drink. You can't drink. Here in Canada, you can drink when you're 18. That's so against religion. That's what I agree on. It's so normalized in our country.
We have a lot of similarities in these senses because they're both Abrahamic faiths. But the problem is, guys, like, and this is where you really got to study history. And I'm being brutally honest, Christians in Middle Eastern countries are not treated well. I know you guys mean well, and you would never physically hit me, and I would never want to physically hit you. But we're in the West, guys. There are police. They will put you in jail. In the Middle East.
The stuff that our religion is, you know what's crazy? I pray Salah, right? We call it Salah for prayer.
You're allowed to,
Yeah, so we couldn't pray in our PG, Allah. You go to Mac, right? Okay. So there's a building at McMaster. We couldn't pray. We sneak into like a faculty of service room. We shouldn't be there. We got kicked out. And I told the guy, yo, it's time to pray. That's all. See, if I was doing that in my country or back in Saudi Arabia, we can pray anywhere, right? But some people are against religion. That's their own issue.
But that always kind of confuses me. Like, if it's more conducive to be in Saudi Arabia for Islam, like, why are you here? Like, why still here? Like, why wouldn't you move back?
It's not about moving. I lived here my whole life, so I take the religion back from home, and I was born with it, raised from an Islamic family.
But I'm saying if it's more conducive, like you're able to pray.
Immigrants coming from there to here. That's their own.
We're very freely able to pray here as well.
I know you are. I know.
There's lots of mosques, lots of churches, lots of temples, all this stuff. It's Canada. It's
Canada, yes. Canada.
I would love to go back at home because that's where I belong.
Well, what I'm saying, guys, is like Canada and the West, the reason we have freedoms is because it was built on the Bible. A big part of it. The 10 Commandments are a legal system, loosely. Like if you fornicate, you're not going to go to prison. Like that's in the Bible, right? Thou shalt not commit adultery. But
if you do adultery for us,
it's bad. Sharia law.
It's one of the major sins.
Yeah.
The same goes for your religion, right?
It is, but Sharia law is different there than like we don't have Sharia law here, right? And I believe that's why many immigrants are fleeing there because they've actually done studies where there are anonymous polls of, you can search this up, don't take my word, Google it, the happiness index in countries. The lowest happiness scores all across the board are in the Middle East. People are not happy there. Even though it's conducive to the religion, they want to escape, and that's why I believe personally your family moved you guys here because they knew that, whether they want to admit it or not. And that was built. We have the freedoms because of Christ. That's what I'm saying. I still love you guys.
You want to base it off of statistics, right? Like based off of what you know.
That's part of it. Yes, statistics. But where do statistics come from, right? They're not just like fabricated.
They're from research.
They're from somewhere, right? We got to be honest after a certain point. So yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. I'm sorry if it came across as offensive, but you got to understand from my perspective, right? The most loving, like if I'm correct, which obviously I believe, the most loving thing I can do is say it as it is. Where if you're correct, flip it. The most loving thing you could do is say it as it is, but then prove it though.
Yeah.
Like prove it. Like kind of like I like what you're doing. Like how like this is apologetics. This is what I do full time. I debate a lot of Muslims.
I can tell you're confident. It's my first time.
Yeah, you know, I like you, man. I like
right?
you. I would
But
just
I'm gonna stand on business like you said, right?
but in a respectful manner, right? Like you can stand on business in a
You stood on business, but it was disrespect. I saw somewhat disrespectful.
when I preach, bro, sometimes I can't control it.
No, I agree.
I'm there to grab everybody,
100%.
and I got adrenaline in me, so sometimes my flesh comes out.
But like I said, that's the only reason I'm here. Because I'm gonna stand on my business, you stand on yours.
I like you, bro.
We have
You're smart.
respect for each
Hold
other's.
this one sec. I want to give you the YouTube channel.
We have respect for each other's religion, correct?
Well, I love you as a person,
Yeah.
like religion or not.
Because
people,
our religion teaches that we're both equal.
to an extent, though, bro. It gets deep, man.
Don't ever walk with arrogance. You know what I mean?
Say it again.
Don't ever walk past someone with arrogance.
Okay.
You know what arrogance means?
Okay, yeah,
You're
yeah.
better than them.
Yeah, I get
right?
it. Yeah.
But I do, coming from like, oh, people are depressed, people are on weed, smoking, having sex, all this shit. They're not close to God. That's why.
Yeah.
So when you're close to God, you have peace.
Yeah.
The peace. When you have peace, when you're close to God, you have peace. And I promise you're righteous. You're pure. And a lot of people in this country don't. Why? Because it's normalized to do haram.
Yeah.
It's normalized to do sins here.
Yep.
That's exactly.
In the beginning, our religions are more similar, but as you guys study it more, it be like a tree. It starts off similar, but as it branches off, and that's kind of what I have to study the end, and that's why there's discrepancy. So you're thinking in more of like the beginning, which is good, but I want you to keep really like studying the hadiths, the sunnah, the sharia law, and like honestly ask like, hey man, am I cool with some of these things? And I gotta do this stuff with the Bible too. The stuff in the Old Testament, I gotta face that.
Yeah,
Good?
but what's called? Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's respect, right? Like I respect you going out of your way to spread the truth, which is proper, which is actually good. You're close to God. I respect that.
Well, I can look at someone and say, hey man, you need to repent and be really harsh while still loving them.
Yeah.
We have this very fake idea of love where it has to be gushy, mommy. Masculine love is like get